So we do have a Stargate opener here from Neeb. Not surprised by that, you know, like...
The Oracle and the Phoenix are about to link up so they can try and get some drone damage. The Phoenix lifts up the Queen, the Oracle does the rest.
Yeah, good timing on the spores, but I think it's the natural where he's keeping that. Yeah, I like the Phoenix to pick up some of these units. Yeah, the natural is where there isn't any spores. So it's almost like a mini gamble. Oh, I think... Is it the Adepts that he's sending into the natural?
Yeah, they certainly are. One Adept gets surrounded, and that makes this defense a lot easier here, as they're not one-shotting drones anymore. Does get 4 drones before dying, which, you know, it's not terrible trade, but it's not amazing either. Also, losing that Oracle, well, that changes things. Losing the Oracle means that Lambo's actually had a pretty solid defense here. And
there's going to be a glaive follow-up here from Neeb, whereas Lambo goes straight into the Hydralisk den here. So, no Baneling Nest, no Rotron, it's just going to be a ton of Hydralisks, and then from there he can decide whether he wants to add Banelings, maybe.
Lambo's going to go up for the Lurker Den here. Something that's the European Zergs loved against Protoss for so long, sort of fell out of fashion a bit for like the Roach Hydra instead. But now I'm loving to see this Lurker Den getting used again.
Yeah, and it's actually almost like unconventional in a way. Like, you know, you just go for like a ton of Hydralisk and straight into Lurkers. There once upon a time you wouldn't even have considered that. It would have been, you know, either a Baneling Nest or a Rotron, but nowadays, the Zergs have gotten so good at droning up to the perfect amount with minimizing the damage as much as possible that they can actually go for stuff like that. And then off the back of something like Lurkers, you can easily go into the Hive, kind of slow things down, sometimes get Swarm Host later on. It's really like up to how aggressive you want to be once you reach those Lurkers. Like some Zergs, they just like to play super aggressive. Guys like Nurchio, they'll just go for drops and all that, but with the new Nydus, it actually almost makes no sense anymore to go for stuff like drop. You just get straight across the map from like your base and your hatcheries.
Dropper Lords are inferior in almost every single way versus the new Nydus Worm. I mean, yes, they can fly, but that's about it.
Yeah, and now we do see the Nydus going up into main base.
I think he's going to kill it though. Yeah, it's too many Zealots.
By the way, Maru lost to Trap.
Wow.
0-2.
Well, that's not a... I mean, Trap is his teammate, so maybe he just knows how Maru likes to play that style. Wouldn't read into that too much, but it is a pretty cool result.
Is it though? You play Terran, right?
I play Terran, but, you know, other races are allowed to win, Todd.
Yeah. For sure.
From time to time. Not too often. Not too often. From time to time. We have a Nydus here getting up for Lambo, but he doesn't get to unload a ton of his army. He's just 4 Lurkers, and it looks like they're just getting unloaded to go home.
Yeah, I mean, Lurkers by themselves are not that scary, and we're reaching the point here where there is a lot of Immortals. What has he got, like 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, and it looks like
7, yeah, this is...
Neeb's playing Nydus Whack-A-Mole here, and he's doing a pretty good job of it.
He got his own tunnel. It's called Recall.
Yeah,
66 drones to 72 probes here, so Lambo has to do a lot of damage here in the near future. I mean, killing that 4th base would be nice, but it feels like he needs to take a fight. Another Nydus going up in the main base at the same time. Storm is ready.
Yeah, nice Storm there from Lambo. Still a lot more units to deal with. The main's getting hit by this Nydus Worm, but it looks like it might have been cleaned up there from Neeb. Just a few more units left over in that main mineral line, getting some of those probe kills. Storm's also hitting in here. It looks like the Zealot Warpin has cleaned up what was left there of Lambo. We've got a first-person view here of the German Zerg going for another Nydus in that natural. Picking off a High Templar earlier was a nice pick-off, but there's still plenty more bad weather here for Neeb, making things a little bit tough for this Ling Hydra army. It's so light. Takes so much damage from the splash damage.
Yeah, he's playing this right. He's trying to hit in so many different places at once, but Neeb's split has been beautiful, and his micro as well, trapping some of these Hydralisks, always cancelling all of those Nyduses going up in every single base. Lambo is dropping 2 Nydus simultaneously, I think.
Yeah.
But even that, like, he's not breaking through the defense so far, but he's going to set up a huge
high ground.
On the high ground.
Yeah, this high ground is really fantastic. Neeb's army is sort of caught with a weird location here. It's on move command, getting a lot of Lurker Spine damage on it. Neeb might have just given up this position a little bit too quickly here, and Lambo's finding a very strong attack path. More Nydus Worms popping out, with the Lurkers also keeping it protected from the ground army of Neeb. Neeb pulls back, gets rid of one of the Nydus Worms, but with Lambo's high ground again, this is so tough for Neeb to get up there. He's going to try.
He's setting up a huge 360 engagement here.
And he's getting some really nice storms. And Neeb, this Immortal count is almost comical. When there's this many Immortals, Lambo actually has to avoid the army. He can't stand and fight against this many.
Yeah, Hydralisk get back into the main base. Do they evacuate again through the Nydus? No, they're just going to stay and trade. Okay, up until the last second, then they do get out. I think the 4th base is still being attacked, by the way.
And
okay, when does this end?
It doesn't. It's cheap. Why wouldn't you do it? He's in there, and the Hydras are picking up a few of these Immortals, but the Storms with the Immortals together are still thinning out Lambo's army. Neeb still behind in army supply. Probes being pulled. It looks like the Archon's really putting the damage on this Nydus. Down it goes again. This is stressful, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to praise more, the offense of Lambo or the defense of Neeb so far. They're both doing such a great job. Just a couple more mistakes from Neeb and Lambo already would have won. And Nyduses are still going that's crazy. That's the craziest last 5 minutes I've seen in PvZ.
Just 66 drones, make units, make Nydus worms, and just multitask your opponent to death. Make no mistake, guys, this looks easy, but it is not. Lambo is all over the place, hitting in 3 places at the same time. Got a Nydus at the back of the mineral line, while microing Hydras at the front of that third base, and then it looks like another one potentially going up at the main base as well. Lambo popping up. The Hydra's doing a lot of probe damage here. Neeb not looking at this attack for a second there.
Yeah, the problem with trading like this is that he's lost a lot of his high Templars, and he's still got 4 here with some of these Storms. Lambo looking to try and trade effectively enough that he can close the game out here in a second, being up on 4 bases. He's actually making drones here again. He just made 7, so I think he might be content for now with the damage that he did.
Yeah. And Neeb is going for a big counterattack.
Yeah, Lambo is stuck on lair tech here, no chance to go for a hive. He needs to make more units, make sure he doesn't die to this attack yet. Neeb, okay, needs to pull back here. I don't think he can move up that ramp quite yet. He does have a bunch of Storms, which are really the scary thing here for Lambo, who's still threatening across the map with his Nyduses consistently.
Yeah, this Nydus is empty though, so Neeb's got some charge lots on that duty. Big concave for Lambo. And he's just trying to dodge the Storm at the moment. Gets an Archon pick off. That's a nice unit to pick off here. The High Templar taking a bit of damage from those Lurkers, but they take it down. There's a lot of observers here with the army of Neeb as well, so he will have detection, and the Immortals are outputting sick damage with their +2 attack.
Yeah, Lambo's doing a very good job of not overcommitting against the Storms. Very nice move here by Neeb, sending some units in the main base while threatening the 4th base. If he takes the high ground, he can just make sure he has Storm for that ramp here, and that's going to be a snipe on that 4th base.
Very nicely done here from Neeb, keeping his cool during all of the Nydus harassment here, and also finding 15 drone kills, and he recalls back home. Peace. Very nice, mature decision-making there from Neeb. He knows he's ahead, and he will just get further ahead.
Yeah, and he's starting to have so many High Templars and Immortals that for Lambo to counter this army is going to be so difficult. Still being stuck on lair tech, that means no adaptive talents here for his Lurkers.
And also no Great Aspire, no Brood Lords, all the things that you'd want to have against this high of an Immortal count is just not there.
The Glass Cannon army by Hydralisk.
That's right.
That many High Templars.
And you get enough Immortals back out. I mean, the one thing I guess Neeb is missing right now is +3 attack. That would be really sick for his army at the moment. But he's just getting the job done already with +2 attack, so who am I to criticize? Getting rid of one of those Nydus worms, pushing his way through. It's like Lambo trying to find Neeb's army and get a big surround on it, but Neeb is falling back to the 3rd base for defenses.
The Observer! Oh, he can almost sit. Neeb needs to be careful. If he loses that, he won't have detection, and then that's how you die to Lurkers. Lambo is setting up a flank from behind. If he can snipe some of these High Templars, he might be able to win the fight behind this, but Neeb still being really careful, landing some of these Storms on top of this army.
Oh, a reinforcement with more Immortals and High Templar coming in for the natural as well. Neeb destroying the army of Lambo here. The Archon's even cleaning up some Hydras on the north side of the map. How is Neeb getting such wonderful engagements here against the scary army of Lambo? The Immortals just barreling through those Lurkers.
And he's got 4 Observers. Even if he was going to lose the one, that wouldn't have been enough. Neeb with a fantastic hold.
A couple things here. Ragnarok is playing Zerg, of course. So notice a few things. One, spent all his money. He's down to 1 mineral. This is something that Terran players have never seen the lights of. It's impossible to do that. But for Zerg players, they have to squeeze every single mineral out to even have a chance. Another thing to draw attention to, 900 APM. This guy right now is actually playing so fast that he probably has to change out keyboards in between each game. Notice it over here. Actually, I moved it, but it was actually about a 260 APM for the Terran player. Not as much to do when you're using weapons of mass destruction. Also, keep in mind a couple things over here. Losses. The Zerg players lost a lot more. Standard, right? They just have more casualties. They have to work through a lot worse things. Idle time, almost non-existent. It is the number 69, but I'm going to ask we be pretty mature about that. Idle time for the Terran player is in the thousands. Literally has not much to do when you're just dropping meals and winning games. It's pretty simple. Now, kind of getting into more of the situation here. We're getting closer to the final bout. James, hang on. We're building up to it.
Okay.
The Zerg is moving in with what it could rally together, okay? This is something that's piecemealed together at that hive tech, the latest stage of the Zerg place, and it's doing what it can. Meanwhile, it's facing the great threat of the Oppressor. This is a 2 medevac drop over here on the right side that is threatening these kind of undefended little Zerg villages here.
Kevin's going to be dying in that
hang
back
on.
room watching this.
Okay, listen, you're breaking my narrative, all right? It's not looking good if you're Ragnarok. So let's kind of get inside the game here a little bit. Let's move at normal speed. Actually, hang on. I've got it going too fast. There we go. Let's break this down here. It's a planetary fortress. Keep in mind, it's a fortress, right? Somehow, Ragnarok's able to get a full surround on this. This is a big deal right here. Baneling's connecting with the repairing SCVs. He does kill it, but the real fight's over here. Innovation's going to pull back to the high ground. He has the high ground now, Anakin. There's no chance in hell for the Zerg player, right? Wrong. Ragnarok never stops believing. He's going to push up into this high ground past the amassed forces of Innovation and somehow get on top of this base over here. Now, there's a critical moment coming in here, James, and it's really important you see this.
Okay.
So this is only the third base of the Terran, all right? This is like this third smallest boss. You've got army over here. You've got army over here. But the real objective, James, is to push this way.
Yes.
Up into the natural, where it's really got to find that victory, okay? James, does he do it?
Yes.
Of course he does. James
Yes.
is a Zerg player. He believes in himself. So here we go. The Broodlord's just barely getting past this. They are going to fight up here. Now, again, this is a moment where I have to draw attention to this. Full surround on this depot. Anyways, you know what? I think a lot of you can probably draw your conclusions.
I'm going to stand up now.
Yeah, that's it. I see Rotterdam educating the masses. I want in on that, okay? I want to be a part of that crowd, and I think this is an important moment in this game. Ragnarok, if you can believe it, at the end of this replay, does take the win, and with it the series. And Innovation's still looking for his first victory here at IEM Katowice.
I want to just take a step back a moment.
Yeah.
I actually started timing that when you began, and it was still shorter than Rotterdam's last
come
section.
on.
So
All right.
I do apologize.
There's so much information in these games. I don't quite have the gift that Rotterdam does yet to slow it down to the smallest and most intricate moments. And I'll keep working. I'll endeavor to do better.
Thank you, Jeff.